Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Zen Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Subiono.
I'm Taylor View.
And ladies and gentlemen, today we're joined by 3 guests, 2 of which you guys have seen already, but we have a 3rd guest with us today. Today is going to be, the setting and the voices are going to be different, but it's still just a normal episode of ours. But we just finished watching Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and we all watched it together. And today is a special day for one of our guests, but we're off location. We're not in the studio today. We are filming off location, so setting is a little bit different, but yeah. So I'm gonna let the 3 of them introduce themselves, and then we will dive into our take of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, give you guys a spoiler-free review, get some scores out there, and then dive into some spoilers. So, starting with the first person on my left.
Hello, my name is Zaki Paulette.
I don't have to say your full name.
I'm Connor.
I'm Dietrich.
Yeah, so these are our friends, and we just watched Black Panther, so this is going to be an interesting one. It's also very late at night, so it could get a little interesting.
We might fall asleep.
It could get a little weird.
It could get a little weird. Alright, so spoiler-free review, guys. Don't get out any spoilers, but just what are your guys' overall initial thoughts on the movie?
I'm gonna say it's fine.
It's fine? Okay. What does fine mean, though? Like it's just mediocre?
I would say it wasn't the best it could have been, but it's definitely not the worst this movies have been from Marvel. So
okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's fine.
Huh?
Anybody?
Huh?
I'm trying to. You guys can go first.
Okay. Well, I thought it was good. I think the timing of when we saw the movie kind of maybe have curved my opinion a little bit.
Like being so late in the day.
Yeah, it's a very long movie.
Yeah.
It's a very long movie, so
Yeah.
You if you're not ready for it to be long, late at night.
Right.
It's
a long movie.
Affect your it's gonna affect your opinion a little bit. But I thought it was good overall.
Okay. All right. DJ?
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman and all of that stuff. They respected him really well. I thought that part was really cool. And the characters, some of them were super, super cool. I thought Namor was particularly pretty interesting. But yeah, like Zaki said, it's not the best either, though.
Yeah. The way I feel about it is that there were some really cool things, and I do agree that what they did with Chadwick Boseman and King T'Challa, I thought it was done well, and I thought that we'll talk about it later, but I just say I thought it was done well. But there are also some things in this movie that I thought were just downright horrible, and why is that even in there, or why do they look like that? But just that's gonna be safe for the spoilers. But I'm leaning towards the good side, but it's definitely not what I was hoping it was gonna be.
It's definitely not the best.
Yeah, but it's a long movie, so.
Yeah,
that's true.
Taylor?
It's another Marvel movie.
Mm.
It was alright. It was very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I want to say before we actually go into spoilers. So.
Here's the key question, though, guys. Do you recommend people watching this, or should they wait till it comes to Disney Plus? Do you suggest people taking their 2.5 to 3, or was it 3? It might even be close to 3 hours.
I think it was really close to 3.
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I think you should definitely
Do you think that people should go and watch it because of the visual aspect of it? The fact that seeing something like this movie on a big screen with big sound is different than watching it at home, or?
I did really like the sound design. I thought they did an amazing job on how
The score and the sound design.
Yeah, and like the overall sound design, I thought they did a good job. I think if you go see it in like, IMAX or wherever we saw it,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a pretty good experience. I don't know that, like I said, I think you have to kind of set some time aside though, because of how long it is.
It's a commitment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we saying yes or no? Yes, go watch
Well, you
it.
can go one by one.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Recommendations?
Zachy. Do you recommend seeing it in the theater or wait for Disney Plus?
Personally, I enjoy seeing it in theater. I feel like if I watched it at home, I would have given it a worse score because I probably wouldn't have got the full experience of it.
Right.
But if you feel like you gotta watch it because of like the respect to Chadwick Boseman, I wouldn't say watch it in theaters because it's not really worth going in for 3 hours sitting down somewhere not the most comfortable just to watch another Marvel movie.
Okay.
But yeah, it does increase the experience and overall raise the score of it to me.
Okay. Connor?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's definitely worth going to the theater for. It's definitely way better than Pray for the Devil, so you should definitely
Check that episode
Check
out.
out that episode.
check out that episode.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're restarring it, and this movie is way better than that movie. So
Yeah.
that was the last
That's
movie
not a
we saw.
surprise, though.
Yeah,
so.
that was the last movie we saw.
Bar
in the
set
theater.
low.
Yeah, that movie
So-
was.
This movie's a huge step up from that, and I would have rather paid money to go see this movie in the theater
Okay.
than probably any other movie that's out right now.
Okay. That's fair. Taylor?
Dietrich, you can go.
Me?
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. In terms of movie theater experience, I thought there was a lot of like dark scenes. Like it was really dark where I was like, I can't really see a lot.
yeah.
So maybe like at a home TV, I
Right.
think you might be able
Maybe
to
you're watching it in the daytime and you got a lot of sunlight.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have the newest OLED TV
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
can see the darkest darks.
Yeah. They're like there was a lot of like, even in the theater, I was like, I can barely like see what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. So
Okay.
I'm like a Marvel, fanboy. So
That's
you know,
fair.
I would go see any Marvel movie in theaters anyway.
Just because it's Marvel. That's fair. I'm gonna say for the only reason I think you should see it in the theater is for the tribute to Chadwick Boseman. That's it. Outside of that, I think it's something that could wait till Disney Plus comes. But the beginning portion of the movie, the tribute, and then at the end, like those two things, it's a different experience when you're in a movie theater full of people and emotions, whatever, blah blah blah. But so outside of the tribute portion, I think this movie could have waited for Disney Plus.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of agree. Honestly, I would almost say still no, because saying to watch it just for the
Yeah.
tribute's a little. I feel like almost in bad taste in itself.
Sure.
Because it's almost like just give the money because
Right.
it's sad to what happened to Chadwick Boseman, which obviously it's sad,
It's very
but
sad, yeah.
to tie that to like the movie itself, it's a little
Okay, so you're saying,
weird.
like you're saying, like, it's kind of messed up to for them
You're
to
it's like
bait you with
profiting
the
off of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
bait you with the Chadwick
Yeah.
Boseman tribute without giving you a good rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or just a
Fair.
prop.
I mean, just in general, like
Yeah.
specifically,
Yeah, no. I
if you were
get
gonna
I get
say
what you're
that,
saying, yeah.
like, I kind of feel the same,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it sounds bad. So
No,
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's a valid. No, I think it's a valid point because Chadwick Boseman's situation was very unique, and we could talk about it in the spoiler session. But I think it's a valid point. So, with that being said, let's dive into some scores. Let's get the scores out there so you can get a better reflection of why we feel the way we feel. We'll just go again in a circle. People can throw out their scores, and you can explain a little bit. So, Zachy, out of 10, no decibels. What is your score for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
I'd give it a good 7.
7. Okay. All right. Connor?
I don't know. I think my opinion might change over the course of this discussion.
Sure. That's
fine.
Yeah, it's
So-
totally
it's
fine.
totally fine.
As of right now, I I liked it. I would say it's between a 6 and a 7, but I don't know.
But no
it really
decibels, so-
like it was. I don't know. It's hard. I'm gonna go with like a 7, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Taylor?
I'm gonna give you my generous score specifically because I really like the music in this movie.
Sure.
And go
Yeah.
6.
6. Okay.
7.
7? Alright, I might be the odd man out here. I'm going 5.
That's fair.
I mean, like I said, I would
Yeah.
actually say a 5, but I really like the music in this
Yeah, I
movie.
don't think
Yeah.
that's
So
unreasonable.
I'm gonna go 5, and I'll kind of talk about why. And since you're kind of a Marvel nut too, you might be able to correct me on some things and share some insight. But there's just some very specific things that I didn't care for. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's your spoiler-free section. That's your scores from all 5 of us. You guys can see them on the screen. But now we're gonna dive into some spoilers. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to be spoiled, okay, go check it out. Watch the movie. And once you finish that movie, come back, and on your way home, just turn back on the podcast and we can dive into some spoilers together. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your official.
spoiler alert.
Alright. Okay. So, how are we feeling about the way that Black Panther, or that the producers and everybody and the screenwriters handled Chadwick Boseman's death and the tribute to Chadwick Boseman? How are you guys feeling about that?
Sorry, I'm trying to think about that because they did really well giving some. Oh, okay, I want to say really. They kind of gave an explanation of why he would die in the movie. But the weird part for me is she blamed it on Killmonger, that he, like, in a way he killed him. And I was, at that point, I was kind of like confused.
When they were in the
Like when they're in the
It's because
afterlife.
he
She's in the
burned all of
ancestral-
the petals
Yeah,
that could have
burned
saved him.
Right.
She was like, "It's your fault. He's dead." I'm like,
Right.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, but like
okay.
I don't think that was her blaming him
And then, like, more like a
specifically. It was just
philosophical
a
thing.
no. It's just like out of anger
For blaming
she's-
herself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because she feels like she let her brother down because she wasn't able to recreate the heart-shaped herb and be able to save him. Because essentially, ladies and gentlemen, what happened was King T'Challa got sick, and because there was no more heart-shaped herb, he they couldn't heal him. And I'm guessing that the kings or whoever is the Black Panther is supposed to continue to take the heart-shaped herb throughout their lifetime.
Explained.
That's something that didn't really get specified, I don't think, at any point.
No.
And as far as I know, it's never been a thing. Like, it was just, once you take it in the beginning, you're
I thought it was
done.
Yeah.
Or
Until
until you
they
get it
remove
taken
it,
away
yeah.
from passing it on to the next Black Panther or to challenge, like,
When you
or
get
to your
challenged,
challenge. Yeah. So, I don't know. But I get, it makes, what they did makes sense. And I'm going to say that this is, again, to me, the biggest redeeming quality that this movie had. I actually really liked what they did, because to me they did enough to give Chadwick Boseman the respect and honor that he deserves for his role that he played in the first movie and in the MCU. But it didn't take over and detract from the overall movie itself. And it wasn't just a gigantic memorial for Chadwick Boseman,
Right.
which is what I was kind of worried about, because, look, I love Chadwick Boseman, and it's really sad what happened with him, but, like, if we want a memorial movie, let's make a memorial movie for Chadwick Boseman. But that isn't what I was expecting this movie to be. I wanted this movie to be progression into the future of what Wakanda is headed for. So I am thankful that they did their tribute, and to me it was very heartfelt, and like it was good. And then they moved on from it, and they talk about it throughout the movie, but it's not the focal point, and it doesn't detract from the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, it's a fair point.
I only half agree with you. I do
Okay.
think it was a good tribute. I actually found it very overused throughout the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How Can you elaborate a little bit? Because like I know, I'm thinking back to the times that they called back to it, but can you elaborate a little bit on why it was overused?
It just pops up frequently throughout the movie. From
Right.
multiple characters.
Right. But don't you think that like to me when it popped up periodically, because it popped up for Shuri because she has her own internal struggle with what happened, and then it popped up for T'Challa's woman. I can't remember her name. Nakia. And Okoye and his mother. But to me, it popped up in their own storylines not because of Chadwick Boseman dying, but because King T'Challa died. And King T'Challa was everything to Wakanda, and he was intertwined in all of these stories, so everybody is going to have some loss or some hole that's in their life now that they're trying to deal with. And as the movie goes, you're seeing how each character deals with that hole in their own way.
Yeah, it's part of their character development.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine if you think that. I just think it's totally unnecessary. You don't need it for every single character. This movie was way too long as it is. And for as long as it is, I feel like they didn't even do enough with all of the arcs that they included in it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Honestly, this feels like this movie should have been split into 2 separate movies.
It could have been, for sure, or it could have been consolidated.
Yeah, I think a lot of the length problem has to do with like how much exposition there was in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like huge exposition dumps, like
Very
from
very big.
Namor, from
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, one of the biggest problems that I think this movie had is they tried to introduce this entire other civilization
right.
that is as advanced, if not more advanced or more capable than Wakanda, and is a threat to Wakanda. And they tried to introduce it, get you to identify with it and kind of, like it, and then get you to hate it and then want to defeat it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's, to me, you can't do that in all one movie.
Yeah, I didn't really understand their whole like. I didn't understand how like technologically advanced they were or weren't, because it seemed like.
I don't think that they are. I think they function kind of like, tribal. But it's that because they have
But
the
that also seems
vibranium,
like
they use it just in normal like wear and armor.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a lot of actual technology. That's why their shields are just turtle shells and their bags are just like wheat or whatever,
Well,
seaweed. They don't actually have any technology. They're just super powered because they're all blessed by like a variation of the
Heart shaped or
exactly.
I mean,
Which, by the way, does actually I think
Yes.
they use like 2 or 3 times in the first Black Panther. He comes back to Wakanda after Civil War, and then he retakes the herb. So it's kind of like a frequent thing that he does have to retake. So he takes it then, and then he also takes it after he fights Killmonger.
All right, to heal.
To revive
Well, yeah,
himself
'cause
because
he-
he gets thrown off the waterfall. And then
Right,
they
but that
give
was
it to him
after
to
it
heal
gets
him.
removed.
Yeah, you
So,
get
he's
take it down after it
challenged.
gets removed.
I don't remember how they remove it, but I do know that he does take it in the beginning
Well, when
as well.
they do like a ritual to
Right,
give it to
to
him,
remove
and then they
it.
do a ritual to remove it, so that when you get challenged, it's an even fight.
Yeah, it's a fair
Oh,
fight.
okay. I
Right.
see.
That's why he took it again.
that also confused me at the end of the movie. I thought it was supposed to be like.
Because I don't.
So-
supposed to be a
okay.
challenge, but.
So no. So you finish your thought. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No,
off.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No. What I was gonna say is that I think the point is that Shuri doesn't want the throne. That Shuri
She leaves.
Is-
she doesn't want- okay.
is like
But she's still the Black
abdicating the
Panther.
throne, but keeping the mantle of Black Panther. And so she's separating, because she even talks about it multiple times throughout the movie, where she's trying to get away from tradition and old stuff, and
Right.
move Wakanda into the future, even though it's the most futuristic civilization on the planet. But
Still using spears.
so I think what it is her being okay. I'm gonna say Black Panther. I'm gonna say the protector of Wakanda because I'm corrupted. Like she even says it to Namor, right? She's like, we've been corrupted by vengeance,
Right.
and So, but let's not let our people be corrupted by vengeance. And so,
Right, but isn't it whoever is the ruler of Wakanda?
right,
That's
but at the
Black
time
Panther?
there was none because they never named a ruler after the queen died.
Okay.
Right? She kind of just BDE'd it.
Right.
when
So she just
was-
left. There's nobody.
And I
Yeah.
don't think that's the case because I think Black Panther's still Black Panther when his dad is the king of Wakanda.
That is
in
true.
Civil
He
War.
was Black
It's
Panther.
not like that old dad is also Black
Oh,
Panther.
yeah.
I thought his dad died and then he took up.
Yeah.
No,
No,
I
he
think
was
he
Black
was
Panther
he
already.
was already Black Panther.
Remember, because he chases after Bucky.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he takes the
Yeah,
ring off his
Yeah,
dad.
but he
right?
takes it from his dad.
Yeah, he takes
Yeah.
the ring off his dad.
Yeah, he
Dude.
takes
Yeah, but he takes the ring, but that doesn't give you the Black Panther powers. He already had
The necklace is like the thing.
he had the necklace on, and he had the actual power of Black Panther already.
Okay.
Wasn't the necklace unique to him?
Um,
Wasn't that made specifically for him? They all have their own different
Like, way
like
to activate
jewelry
it.
thing.
I don't know because Killmonger just takes the other one, right?
Yeah, but Shuri
No,
made
right,
multiple
the
different
multiple
things.
nexus.
That's why in this movie, she goes and she's like looking at it. She's like,
Yeah.
which one do I want? And then she takes the
Yeah.
one that she picks.
But
I thought that
he
was like a
was
random
already
one.
Black Panther because after his dad dies, there's the fight to become whoever's the new leader, and they have to take the Black Panther away from him in order for him to fight in Baku.
Right.
So
I
he
thought
already
his dad died and then he was just like, I'm the Black Panther.
No, he was the Black Panther protector of Wakanda. His dad was the king. They're
Okay.
separate from each other
Okay.
at that time. So I think that's what Shuri is doing at this point. She's kind of just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to be the queen of Wakanda.
What do you have to say there?
Yeah, about the
Parachutes?
technology thing, like it seemed like they're like tribesmen people, but they have like these devastating like water grenade things. that are,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
super futuristic. I mean, they just like
Explode water.
yeah, like they're like
Probably just a little like super compacted thing of
Yeah,
sodium,
it's just black hole.
and it just opens up the water.
But I mean, like,
They made that- they
yeah,
made
it's
it
like
look
a,
like
it, like
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some
It seemed
pretty
crazy.
large
I was like,
explosive.
you know, these like crazy like water bombs that just demolish whatever.
Even
yeah.
their like breathing apparatus.
Yeah,
like,
even
Yeah.
their breathing
super-
apparatus is like futuristic. You know?
Sure.
And I also didn't get that because the guy takes off his breathing apparatus. He's
And
like,
gives
here,
it to her,
and he's
yeah.
like completely fine. Like,
I think
but
he just.
I thought they.
That might have
couldn't
just been
breathe.
like I'm holding my
Yeah,
breath thing.
I'm gonna freaking.
But they don't.
Just be
I'm
macho.
a man.
Yeah, okay.
They don't
Yeah.
breathe through their mouths though.
Huh?
That's the weirdest part for me when I was watching
Yeah, I
it.
thought that.
They breathe through the gills.
Me, my logic me like, why they have like they're using a breathing apparatus, but they have gill. What?
No, the breathing apparatus goes down onto their chest over their gills.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
They
so-
even
so they
talk
don't even
about
need
it.
the mouth one. They just need the ones on
yeah.
their
So
gills.
what was the point of having
So
the
what's the
mouth?
point of
They have it
having
over their mouth for no reason.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I was like, why do they have a mouth?
They didn't need it the whole time.
Probably
That's one
for
of the
looks.
that's
Yeah.
one of the main I would say like big things I really hate about this movie is it's very very inconsistent with a lot of things, a lot of details, which I don't know if they're like I don't really know a whole lot, but even especially with the
Yeah, I don't know how they
Atlanteans, some are blue, some are not. Some wear masks, some don't. Like
Yeah.
their powers, they're insanely powerful 1 second and then do nothing the next. It makes no sense.
It did seem like I think they like changed colors like when they're
I
in
think
the
they
water.
change color when they get out of the water.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
their skin goes back to blue because
Some of them
they,
were blue in the water though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were.
Yeah.
But there was also like, there were scenes where, because his like, we'll call them lieutenants, right? Like the
You're right.
the guy and the
Stronger
girl that were lieutenants or whatever. Like in the water, sometimes they were normal skin color, and then sometimes they're blue.
Yeah,
but when
they're
they
like
get out of the
deep
water,
underwater.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then when they get out of the water, they're not. So
Yeah,
I
that
don't
seemed
know.
kind of. It also seemed kind of inconsistent about their like power level.
That's what
like,
I'm
they're all
saying. They were
superpowered,
super
like-
strong in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like
Basically invulnerable.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, oh no, you die.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when in the
sure.
beginning when she's like running the helicopter and she like
She, like,
shoots the
shoots the
dude
guy,
and
yeah.
he's like completely bulletproof, and then like
I think they just she just happens to hit the vibranium or whatever.
she just misses.
I
Like,
don't, yeah, I don't get why they like. Oh,
I don't know how she's like 4 feet away from him.
yeah, but then she starts shooting everybody else, and then they're all
Yeah.
like dropping like flies.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, I definitely picked up on that too.
But I mean, they were cool. Like I love their sound design and the way that like all of their like, like when they're like swinging their weapons and stuff sounds very
Only
like
that
watery.
Yeah.
You know?
What they kind of
That
got
was
me
cool.
was like, I kind of pay attention to somewhat continuity. So first Black Panther, they use spears. Endgame, it was Infinity War. They have spears that shoot now.
Yeah.
And then this movie comes out. What happened to the shooting spears? Like now they're just like stab. Like
Yeah,
oh,
they have-
shoot
They
them
have
with the
them shock
spears.
sticks. Yeah.
Like shoot them with the spears. You could have saved so much lives, but no, they're just like we're gonna do.
I mean,
So now one
they
chick-
also had guns in this movie. so-
Exactly.
And that one girl basically
just-
had a lightsaber dagger.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And she could
I thought
throw
that was
them.
really cool though.
It was kind of
They
cool.
were
It was like-
cool, but like she was holding on to them, but then she could throw them and call them back. I'm like,
Well,
Wait,
I mean,
find
that's
those
not
things.
that's not that unbelievable. I mean, considering
yeah.
the rest of the technology they
Yeah.
have.
No, I'm not saying it's unbelievable. I'm saying, why was she doing that the entire time? She looked like she was just holding it and slicing, and you could just throw. I would flying those things all over the battlefield. They slice through anything.
Are you
apparently.
are you a trained?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
bad. My bad. I didn't know you were
FedEx
part of the
is-
Dora the Milaje. My
That
bad.
FedEx trained me. FedEx trained the art.
I mean, I thought their new weapons were like cool. You know?
They were cool
Yeah.
looking.
I thought the like.
And I think the guns come from Shuri's blasters, right? She has those blasters in Endgame. And
Yeah,
then-
yeah, I hated
Yeah.
those.
yeah, they're
I still
dumb.
hate them
But I
now.
think that's where all of their like shit blasters and stuff are coming from. Is that
Right.
that technology that she
Like the
developed?
Sonic-
Why do
gun
they
or
like
whatever.
just one shot people all of a sudden?
I don't know. Yeah, the one that Nikita had. That was that.
Where were you during it?
Yeah, that
you
guy
could have
was-
just shot everybody.
Yeah, that gun was cool. I was like, oh, that's a cool weapon.
Well, it looked the same as everything else,
Yeah.
but this one just murdered people.
yeah,
It's
it's
fine.
like instantly killed.
And they were like, "Oh, you just killed them," and they're like, "Oh, who cares?"
It was just that whole scene was just the whole time I was the only thought that I had while I was watching Nikita rescue Shuri was just like, this girl's supposed to be this super crazy spy that's like ridiculously good at her job. Where the hell was she in all the other issues that Wakanda has had over the past like how many movies? Like what has she done?
Well, I think she left after.
Yeah, well, obviously we
Chadwick
find out
got-
what she
yeah.
did, but like, that's all I could think of during that particular
Yeah,
scene.
they don't really explain it before that. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, she's just, she's back.
Yep. Surprise.
Yeah, that's the thing. like, so she told her mom about his kid, but so she knew she was hiding the kid, but like she didn't tell her mom why she didn't go to the funeral. Like the mom didn't know that, but she knew about the kid. So why don't you just tell her both why they want to go to the funeral?
Yeah, that didn't really make sense. She could have just been like,
Yeah,
I
well-
don't want to bring the kid.
Like, I get like in the movie she's like, I really missed you at the funeral, and she starts crying, but like she could have just told her, since she already told her he had a kid, be like, yeah, he told us not to go to the funeral.
Yeah, but they weren't trying to reveal that T'Challa had a
Right,
kid
right.
at that
It
moment.
makes sense for the movie.
It
It's
makes sense for the
storytelling.
movie,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's part of the storytelling.
continuity-wise,
No, that's storytelling. Like that's them building the story. You can't expect them to drop the biggest news of the movie mid movie just
Well,
nonchalant.
I thought the mom would already know that why they're not going to the.
Yeah.
Why?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
I get what you're saying, but she.
They don't have to drop the
Nikita
kid part.
says that that T'Challa prepared them for his death and that he didn't want them at the funeral. Like
Yes.
she said that T'Challa didn't want them at the funeral, but she never said that they told the mom about it. So the mom could just be under the impression that they were gonna show up, but didn't know that T'Challa didn't want them at the funeral.
That's what he's saying, though. Why would you tell the mom, "Yo, here's the son," but we're just not gonna show up?
Yeah, like even though like
The son is the reason.
He's saying she knew about the son
Yeah.
before,
Right.
before
The
his
funeral.
death, I knew he was dying.
but when they had that whole conversation about why she didn't go to
Right,
the
in
funeral,
Haiti.
she had like no idea.
Yeah, so she sounded like she had no idea why she.
Even though everything was already out in the open for their characters
apparently,
between each other.
yeah.
Which
But she
doesn't
did
make
give
sense.
a reason.
Right.
So
But
that it was-
she did say it. I give her that, but I'm just saying.
And
in that
they
part,
they
it's
also
gonna-
had their own funeral for T'Challa
Yeah,
as
right,
well.
right.
Well, I know why she didn't go, but it doesn't make sense why the mom didn't understand that.
Yeah.
It's-
Like, I
which
kind of
is
undermined the
bad
whole
writing.
scene.
To
Yeah.
me, that's just storytelling to keep their secret.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of fine
Man,
with it because
I
it's
don't-
like
it's not the
I think if
biggest
your
deal.
son
That's
died,
not
you would
Yeah.
expect that would be like one of the one things that you might return to your country for if they didn't know that
Yeah.
you know
Right.
Especially since you're
that T'Challa didn't want.
the lover of the king, so
Them to
you
know.
would think.
Well, yeah, I mean, everybody was wondering, because even Okoye is wondering where she was.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those little things that kind of just make you make you just kind of like, just like, what? Like, what's
Yeah,
going on here?
I thought
But-
Namor was really cool.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about Namor and talk about
He's very cool,
Talokan.
and then he gets shit on in this movie.
I thought the actor. I don't know if somebody can pull up the cast list. I don't remember. I don't know his name. But I thought the actor that played Namor did really well. I thought he played Namor really well. I actually really liked Neymar's character. The only problem I have with him is he's just like godlike, like he's just a god.
Well, I think they
So-
just wanted to make him cool, like
Yeah.
he was
like
implied.
not like a like how Aquaman was
Yeah.
before, Jason. Momoa
This
came
is
out.
Marvel. This is Aquaman, but let's not make him Aquaman.
But
It's,
basically Marvel's
He's
awesome.
actually,
To
I
not
wouldn't say he's really Aquaman, because
Huerta.
from the very little that I read about this character as this movie was coming out, he's like this really ridiculously overpowered
Yeah.
character. Which in this movie he's garbage. Like in the beginning he's super cool, and then in the end it's just like all of his power's just gone. He just
Yeah,
acts like a
'cause he
bitch.
needs water.
Yeah.
But there's
he's-
always water.
Well, the thing is, like, he's supposed to be this like hybrid, right, between his people and normal people. But his power still comes from water somehow. So
I think it's because like his half human side is when he's not in the water, where
Yeah.
the power like they need to be in the water to be that strong and stuff like that. When he's
So I
away
guess
from
it's
that,
just-
he reverts back to just normal.
Well, I
human.
think
it's kind of like
because-
his kryptonite.
Yeah,
It's
well, I
like
think it's because
Superman
the
in
flower
the
that
sun.
he that like changed him, the lady drank
From
was from
underwater.
right.
And because of his
Yeah,
happiness.
that makes sense because
Yeah.
it was an underwater flower. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought he was pretty. I thought he
I thought he was cool, and I
overpowered
thought-
in this movie. Like he fucking
In the beginning, yeah, he was.
just
Yeah.
In
straight
the
up
beginning,
like
but then in the end he was
Yeah.
absolutely not. Especially because
okay.
in this movie they actually specifically say, which I was surprised because this is one of the few things I saw about him, is M'Baku says,
He's like a
he's
strong
basically
robot.
like the Hulk because
Right.
he is in fact supposed to be like rivaling the Hulk.
yeah.
Yeah,
And basically
he
the
is.
only people that can fight him is like the Hulk or Thor
Yeah.
or something of that level.
Something at God level.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
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 insane power.
So okay, so let's segue that into the fact that, and this is probably the biggest problem I have with this movie. Shuri decides to take up the mantle of Black Panther. Then she decides, you know what, I'm gonna go and save Wakanda from this godlike creature
Right.
called Namor. But I have like, I'm sure she has some training, but she's just like she's an inventor. Like she works with stuff. Like she doesn't have the I guarantee she did not have the same martial arts training that T'Challa went
Oh,
through,
absolutely. You could
or the same warrior training, and you could tell like in her fighting styles. And like, I just don't believe that someone of her position and stature within the kingdom would be able to fight like she did when she became the Black Panther. It doesn't. It's not believable to me. So during the fight with Namor, even though he was weakened because she dehydrated him, basically, like I still like in my head I'm like this dude has been alive for centuries and is an extremely good fighter, and you're just got this nice black suit, and like it just doesn't. It's just not believable to me that she was able to best him in hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think. I
Yes.
think he was. I don't know. I agree. I think it was. They kind of like.
Just kind of glided over that.
Yeah, they were like he was doing all this crazy stuff, but as soon as his water's gone, like all of his fighting ability is gone. Like he doesn't like. I guess is the explanation. but
Sure, his
I don't.
his
That wouldn't make
strength
any
and-
sense because yeah,
His strength and stamina is gone, but that doesn't mean his
he
technique
still
is
should have
gone.
all of his battle experience from
Yeah.
like millennia.
Well, I don't even think it's like how you're saying it was like kryptonite. I don't even think it works like that.
No, I
like
think it's
not
really-
like Superman where he's just like invincible except for when you have this rock. The water thing gives him his power, is from what I understood, but
Yeah.
drying him out would weaken him.
Yeah, but not
But a
It
weak
shouldn't-
Hulk would still kill you in like one punch.
shot. Pretty much anybody. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
They said
Yeah.
that they made it seem like he needs like the water to like recharge essentially. So it's kind. I would assume it's kind of like Superman with like the
The
red
sun.
sun.
right.
You know, where it's
Yeah.
like when Batman puts the red sun on him, he can like actually physically punch him, and stuff like that. It's not like Superman is like still super strong
Right.
or anything. He's kind of like just a regular guy, you know.
He's-
I
yeah.
assume it functions
He's like underpowered.
kind
That's
of
what
like
I'm saying,
that.
but they're two totally different characters,
Yeah.
which is why I
Right.
wouldn't really compare them.
But not only that, but like again, to me, like okay, yeah, sure, he loses his strength, loses his speed, his stamina, all that stuff, but the dude still has an insane amount of training and experience. Like, you take a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt and make him weak as shit, make him stay up for however long you want, and make him super weak. I guarantee you, he still taps out a white belt. Like,
He's still whooping my ass.
Yeah, I guarantee you, he's still gonna whoop a white belt just based off of the fact that he just knows everything. Like, he just his technique is better because of how long he's been fighting for. So, that while I was watching that final fight, it was hard for me to get invested into the fight, root for Shuri, because the whole time I'm just thinking to myself, like, this just doesn't, it's just not believable to me. It's like, how are you beating this dude? Like, I get he's weakened because you dehydrated him, but still, like, you invent stuff, and like, you're in the lab all day every day. Like, you're not out there training and practicing your technique and stuff. So, and there was no like training at all. Like, there was no like, we never saw anything of her like even learning anything at all. She became Black Panther, and then now she's fighting a god level creature. Like, I don't know. Just it made it hard for me to get invested into that final fight.
Yeah, she became Black Panther very fast.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think I think he did. I mean, he kind of kicked her ass. You know, he's
That's one thing
like,
also during the fight.
He was super
weird.
strong
yeah. I mean,
before
he was
the
still
dehydration
like,
thing.
Yeah, even after the dehydration thing.
Yeah, he's so strong. But
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like, how is she able to best it?
I get that.
Like,
I
she's
just
not.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just it was just like
I know. I know she
has-
has to
yeah.
for the story, but I don't know. I just feel
She
like
also had this massive spear just
it's
straight
okay.
through you.
That's what I said. He
Another-
basically
And
kicked her
just
ass and then
casually-
yeah.
Front flips over him, does this cool
Yeah.
maneuver, and then
It's
you
just
know,
another
knocks him down and shit.
Disney-made movie
Yeah.
where somebody gets stabbed through the torso and is just completely fine. Ladies and
Like,
gentlemen,
I forgot about that.
ladies and gentlemen, if you get stabbed in the torso, you are more than likely going to die. Not the other way around. Like, there's so much stuff in here, and like, the fact that you get stabbed in the stomach all the way through with like a inch diameter spear, it's just like the odds of you dying are way higher than the odds of you living. So the fact that like we continuously are getting characters that are getting stabbed through the torso and just completely fine afterwards is it's just too much. Like, I literally, when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's another one. There's
Yeah, it seemed
another
like they
Reva
completely
or
forgot that she had like a huge stomach wound, like right after the battle when
No,
they
no,
like
bro.
flew
Yeah,
over.
that's
She's
it.
like, ah, we did it. You know,
Yeah,
she's
fine.
like totally fine.
I mean, I'm guessing her suit has some kind of like healing properties
Yeah,
or whatever. but
So she can heal from it, but Killmonger dies immediately.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
right, no, you're not wrong. Like,
It's
Killmonger gets stabbed, right, and then
Yeah, the
it's
stomach.
just she's fine. Or like Killmonger
Yeah,
dies,
like-
but she's fine.
Where's
But
his vibranium healing
yeah.
him?
What did you guys think of Killmonger showing up, of being the person that
I-
she sees in the ancestral plane?
Man, I like seeing him, the actor.
Michael B.
And
Jordan.
He's cool, but I don't know. It's just when I saw him, I was kind of like, eh. It didn't. It made sense, but at the same time, it really didn't. It's like I'd rather see like someone else.
I thought it was pretty cool.
I
liked
actually-
her chit. Like, I think we were talking about this earlier, but I liked her like change to like kind of like the dark side, where
Sure.
she was just like, fuck everything.
Where she's just kind of accepted that she's corrupted, but she's
Yeah.
going to attempt to utilize that corruption for the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, I actually liked the Killmonger thing, just because I feel like if she had gone to the ancestral plane and seen T'Challa or seen her mom or seen her father or anyone, and then she became this like, righteous, like a head-on straight person, like it would have been way too quick and way too jerky of a 180 for her that it. Like, her character would have just been ridiculous at that point. So I actually like that you know, we see it throughout the movie. She has a lot of internal turmoil and internal struggle with her brother's death, with her inability to save him, and all this stuff. And then it manifested itself in the ancestral plane, and then she's still learning to deal with it as she fights Namor. After that, not really a fan of like.
Oh, so she still has the exact moment where it's just like
right, but it's just farther down the line.
Yeah,
it's almost right after because she's just standing there and then it's like Martha.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like,
It's a
come
Martha
on,
moment.
dude, like.
Yeah.
Can we just not do that?
show who you are.
Killmonger's cool. I thought it was cool seeing him.
Yeah.
It's just I didn't like the entire arc of Shuri at all.
But I don't think that's the worst one in the movie.
Yeah,
I will tell you the worst person in the movie.
Oh.
I'm gonna say I hate the genius kid. That's for me the worst.
Yeah,
character
that
thing was-
she definitely did not need to be in the movie.
It was
No, she could have been in the movie. Like, it's fine that there's this
They
super
just-
bright
they took
scientist.
I think for
A
a
few
long
steps
too
too
far.
far.
Yeah, they could have cut it out.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
right
didn't need to
after
be
the
in the movie,
initial introduction of like
saving
doing
her,
the
yeah.
crap,
Yeah,
would have been fine and
Yep.
just leave her, let her go back to school.
yeah, because she really.
The
didn't
moment
like
they
it.
were like
Yeah.
they're about to leave her warehouse, and they're like, oh. They just had to do a
There's an Iron
stupid
Man
sit up, and
suit.
it's like, oh, great.
come on.
Thanks for ruining something else.
Yeah. You
Multiple
literally
times.
ruined Iron Man.
Not to mention she goes to Wakanda and is like, oh, let me help. Immediately goes
That was
Another
funny.
person that
killed
just
me.
shows up,
Yeah, I heard
and
that.
just because
That
you
part.
have this Iron Man suit,
Yeah.
you magically know how to fight everybody.
Right.
Yeah. Well, she's supposed to be this big character. Like Ironheart's supposed to like
Yeah.
I
take
get
over
it.
the Iron Man
I
mantle and everything.
get it, but
And
like-
she was like just straight up. Well, that's what I'm saying. She didn't need to be in this movie because she was just shoehorned in here, and she really didn't have any purpose.
It would have been
Yeah.
better if
She
they
had
had
her own movie.
introduced her in this movie,
Yeah, and they gave her
and
her
then
own movie.
given, and maybe not it needed to be in her own movie, but just in a future movie, giving her a bigger part of the story. But then you have this connection to another movie, so it deepens the character arc. It deepens the investment that people have in it because you're like, oh shoot, she was in that other movie way back then.
Right.
They are making a Disney Plus series.
They're supposed to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like your thing would have worked well, where I was like, yeah, this is the kid who made that device that the government used or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's okay if that they took her to Wakanda because you got to protect her or whatever. But
Yeah.
once she got to Wakanda, that should have been it. It should have been like a Bucky thing where like, all right, we're gonna put you like off on the corner and
Yep,
like, you
and
just
then you're gone.
you just stay over there while we figure this out.
Yeah.
And then later on
Send
in a
back.
future series or movie, then we can realize, oh, this person actually is more important than they used to be.
Right, which is
And
what
then-
they did with the lady from Winter Soldier, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, the purple hair lady.
Oh yeah, the
who's
director.
gonna, like create the
Fontaine
thunderbolts or whatever.
Right.
like that.
Yeah. It was, I was like, oh, that's the lady from.
Right, and she's
That's
also in Captain America, Winter Soldier, right? Or Falcon in the Winter.
Yeah,
Falcon.
that's where she's from, Falcon and the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier.
Falcon in the Winter. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad.
She's also, I think, in
She's in
Black
s-
Widow. And
yeah, she's in some other
Hawkeye
stuff,
or
too.
something like that.
Jeez.
Cause she recruits Red Star, right?
She recruits,
she recruits,
Black Widow's sister.
Sister.
Right,
Oh,
and then she
to go kill
recruits
Hawkeye.
the fake Captain America guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, John Walker.
Yeah, John,
John
Walker.
Walker.
She's gonna create like the Thunderbolts or whatever.
Right. Yeah. That's another like storyline that was just. It was there was way too much effort put into that storyline.
Yeah.
The
You're talking about the Hobbit?
the agent
Yeah.
and like
Love that actor.
I love him.
I didn't
yeah.
honestly. I didn't think any of them needed to be on screen.
We
Yeah, that's
could
kinda
have.
weird.
Even though I really like him,
interjected in there
it's
as,
just
like, a
why.
Points, just for like, oh,
It's
hey,
fine that they interjected him, but like you didn't need to get in the whole fact that you guys were married at some point.
I
and,
know.
Like,
Yeah.
like
past history.
yeah, and she's just been bugging you this whole time. Like she's been bugging the bees, and like it's just like there's too many storylines going on at once, and you're trying to make each storyline super deep and super well thought out, but like if you have too many of those, then people can't follow them and people
Yeah.
don't care.
And it didn't even really lead to anything. She
No.
didn't like put an attack out on Wakanda or
Right.
Yeah. Atlantis or whatever it's
Yeah,
called in
it
the
didn't-
movie.
Yeah.
They just locked
They were
them
like,
on
"We're gonna do a
Freeman,
first
and
strike."
then they
Yeah.
immediately freed him. So it's like they
Yeah.
really didn't need any of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's like, we're gonna attack Wakanda, and then
Yeah.
it's like nothing happened.
Uh,
I also feel like none of the like, I don't know what you'd call it, but like the character like
Design.
no, like the character external battles, like any of the like like Shuri and Namor, or Okoye and the fucking
the
giant
lieutenant,
blue
whatever,
dude.
yeah.
Like none of that actually came to like any sort
head.
of like end.
Yeah.
She was like, "You're gonna die," and then she just kicks him off the thing. He's obviously like not dead.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right, because they paralleled those characters together throughout the movie, right?
Right.
Okoye and the bigger dude, and then Ironheart and the girl with the feathers in her hair,
Right.
and then obviously Namor and Shuri.
And none of those conflicts actually like
resolved at all.
Yeah, no.
In fact, in my opinion, the ending, not the ending scene, but the scene where like her and Namor fly back on the ship, and Namar's like, "Let's go home," and she's like, "Wakanda forever." Like that, to me, that was just like the lamest way to
very
end that
cheesy.
battle ever.
They were just like, "We're good. Let's go."
Like, yeah, we're fine. Hey, we're friends now. We're cool. We're cool.
Yeah, and then they're like, "Actually, we're evil, and we're gonna like manipulate
This
them."
is the whole coup.
Yeah.
It's like I don't get because like Namor was like he got pretty fucked up for at the end battle, but
Well,
he was like on the plane. He looked totally fine.
Well, she probably threw him back in the water, and then he rejuvenated, and he's all good. You know? Yeah.
Magic.
Yeah, he didn't like
Guaranteed.
learn his lesson at all or anything.
No.
There was nothing like no lesson.
No, you're
learned
right.
for
Well, that's
that.
actually I actually thought they did a good job with Namor because in the comic books he's like a freaking huge douchebag. He's like
Yeah.
super terrible.
Right.
But they did a good job making him like seem kind of likable, kind of charming at the beginning, and then but they
And
still
then
keep
he's
like the
doing it
whole
for a
like.
good cause or whatever.
But they still
Yeah.
keep the whole like, oh no, he's actually like an actual asshole, you know. But
Yeah.
they do it just a lot better than they do in the comic books.
I think it's cool that they're setting him up for later. I was just like, it just seems like so weird that he goes from like wanting to just like burn everything and kill the Wakandans, and then like once he gets his ass kicked, he's like, oh no, never mind, we're good, and he's like, we're all good, everybody, let's just go
Yeah, let's
home.
just
And then
go
like
home.
later on, he's like, but secretly we're gonna just bide our time until
Until
even though he doesn't seem like he's
Wakanda.
that kind of guy. Like he seems like he would just be like, let's go fuck him up. You know what I mean? Like he was just like that the whole movie. He was
I don't
just
think I don't think they're lying in wait. I don't think Namor is lying in wait. I think Namor is just hoping that Wakanda needs their help, and then like that's their time to shine, I guess. The
Yeah, that's what it
lieutenant,
says.
that lieutenant girl, I think the point of that scene was to introduce and get the viewers to potentially think that maybe there's some tension going on within Talokan, and that maybe all of the lieutenants and people aren't fully behind Namor.
Well, it seems like they were behind him. Like it seems
Well,
like
yeah,
they're not behind
before,
him now
but
because
now
he
because
doesn't- he's not going
he
back to
yielded.
kill. Yeah.
Well, because he lost
Right,
essentially.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of makes sense. I mean, if your champion loses,
Right.
kind of want to find a new champion so that it doesn't happen again. You know, like
Well, they don't really have anybody else.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then he's
Yeah.
like a god to them, so it's like.
no, you're right. I agree with you guys. I just think that's what their intention was with those scenes.
Right.
How that pans out, I don't know, because like who in Talokan is gonna beat Namor? Like,
Yeah.
dude
no,
has
like,
wings on his feet, bro.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I made him fly at like
Yeah.
Mach
So
speed.
like the first time he came out of the water and it was like.
Let's
I almost laughed because I was like, that's kind of.
talk a little bit about character design actually, because that's funny, but you know I get it because it's in the comic books.
Yeah.
That's like a staple of his character, so you can't really mess with it. It's not like
Yeah.
you could just
They made it really cool later on when he's
Right.
like, you know what I mean, like zipping
Yeah.
through the air and stuff,
kind of look like
like
Cupid though, a
walking
little
on
bit.
air or whatever.
Yeah,
But the beginning like.
yeah, when he comes out of the water,
It's just like. I was just like, okay.
He's really flying with those.
Yeah,
It's
really.
like really, all right.
Like I wouldn't mind if he just like was levitating. Or
Yeah,
something.
or the wings were just like, foo, foo, or like, you know, they didn't have to be like trying really hard to keep him above the water. Like it seems like they were straining to like keep him afloat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do want to say specifically about Namor. This is probably one of the at least most recent Marvel things I watched that has pretty weird CG.
oh,
Especially
my God,
yeah.
CG was like super
Like
terrible.
some
Yeah.
shots were really bad.
Yeah, I
Like
like
TV
you're talking
show
about
CG.
the water scenes that weren't real, right? Because a lot of the water scenes were real, like actual footage of people underwater. Because you
Yeah.
could tell people were holding their breath. But are you talking about when like it transitions from that to CG underwater.
No, it doesn't
Like,
have to be
when Shuri
underwater.
was going
Literally
through the water tunnel?
anytime
Yeah,
Namor
yeah.
does like some super insanely theatrical move,
Yeah.
it cuts the CG and there's like a horrible shot. Like if he's
Yeah.
just jumping into the water, it just looks really bad for a split second.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one you're talking about where they're going through the like water tunnel or whatever.
Yeah, she
That
was
was
like
really
in
bad.
that weird.
Yeah, and
suit.
she's like looking out of the suit, and then he comes in, and it's just like a CGI blur, and he's like, "Ooh," and then he fucking like.
I also really hated that whole scene because it was stupid that he's like, oh, you're gonna get. He starts, like hyping up like you're gonna die if you go into our oceans or whatever.
But we
It's
have
like, oh,
suits.
but we have suits. Wasn't funny to me. And then on top of that, what's powering this suit?
We don't know.
We literally just watched this suit get
Yeah,
destroyed
get
with these
ripped
two
off
people
of
that
it.
got murdered in them,
Yeah.
and now it's perfectly built for this civilization with
Yeah.
battery packs or some shit or
Yeah, 'cause
nuclear
they were
power.
tethered. They were tethered by
'Cause to be
cords.
that
That's
deep,
what I was
you
saying.
typically
I don't understand
are.
their like technology
there's-
level.
There's definitely some holes that they're just hoping people don't notice or just chalk up.
It
to
seems like
movie
they're super
magic.
tribal, but they have the fucking sun under the like.
Yeah.
They just open it like, dude, and the sun fucking comes
I
out.
brought
They're
the
like,
sun to
we got
my
the fucking
people."
sun down here, like. And he fucking made it. He was just like,
Yeah.
it's technology, blah, and then
I
there's
did.
this fucking sun.
Makes no
Yeah, I don't
sense.
really know what the heck that was.
Yeah, I was just like,
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's just it's vibranium. She's like, it's made out of vibranium, isn't it? He's like, yeah, I brought the sun down to my people.
yeah,
It's
what?
like,
Vibranium
okay,
is the sun now? What?
Yeah.
I didn't understand it. Yeah, it seems like vibranium is just like, it's just fucking whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I didn't like about the first Black Panther either. Just because like vibranium was like just a metal,
Right.
and then in Black Panther it turns into like you can do like all of this crazy shit.
Yeah, you can just make it into like new elements or fucking
Yeah.
what like.
Yeah, now we have beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, and it can just
Non-stop,
like
like-
fucking shoot you into the
Like,
sky.
oh, you're in the earth? Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah,
Give me your
well,
coordinates.
Yeah.
Just-
Yeah, I thought that whole part underwater, I was just like, what the? That's why I was saying I was so confused about their whole fucking like power structure and technology level
Yeah.
because it seems like they're like just like Mayans who are like, whoa, we're
Water
we-
mines.
yeah, we're just water Mayans.
That
And we have
too,
like
and-
wooden spears and shit, and then it's like we have the fucking sun that comes out of this giant like mechanical thing, and we built all this like crazy shit that's like in the background it's like where all these fucking buildings are like in
Yeah.
crazy ass ovals and
Right.
shit, and you're just like,
It's
what
like
the fuck?
Inception
And then they have like these
It
Mayan
was.
ruins, and everyone's just like, we're hanging out in the ruins. But actually, it's not. It's a huge machine, and it shoots out the fucking sun. Like,
It was
what the
really,
fuck?
it was
And
really
then,
cool. though.
analogy.
Yeah, and they're then you like you said, they're using turtle shells as their shields, but they have these fucking crazy ass water bombs, and they're like, woo, and they're just, and everyone fucking dies. Like it
Yeah, it's
blows
basically
through
like, hey,
vibranium like nothing. It's just like, blah, and the whole fucking thing's like, it's water. What
It's
the
like,
fuck?
yeah, they're basically like, hey, we want to be tribal, right? Oh, wait, you're beating us? All right, nuke them.
Bring out the nukes.
Yeah, you go from spears to nukes.
I was so confused that entire movie. I was like, are you like, yeah, I was just, because I thought they were like just as like technology, whatever, advanced.
That's what I was expecting.
Yeah, but then they were like, oh no, we were.
During that scene when he's like, yeah, you can come down and see my city, I was fully expecting her to go down there and basically see Wakanda underwater.
Right.
That's
but
what
it
I was-
wasn't. It was like
yeah.
a huge like ruin,
Right.
and then the ruin turned into
It was
like,
weird.
And there
It
was
funny.
shit. There was
It was
like
some
literally.
future shit like put in there. Like
It was
Yeah.
it was the road to El Dorado underwater.
Yeah.
with the hoop and the ball.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah.
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 Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But yeah, underwater they're all normal skin color, but
Yeah.
as soon as you step out, just it's totally not because
Yeah,
the
it
paint
seemed
would
like
just
they
red
had
off.
nothing else made of vibranium, like besides their like armor
Their
or whatever.
weapons
Like,
and armor.
Yeah, like
jewelry
well,
and stuff.
not even like it seemed like he was the only one who had a vibranium weapon. Everybody else just had like regular weapons.
No,
Wasn't even
'cause
full
the
of
lieutenants. The lieutenants had vibranium.
Yeah, I mean
stuff.
besides the huge guy with the,
Yeah.
the
The
axe.
The
or
really
whatever.
cool axe.
Or the halberd. What is it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a halberd.
It is a halberd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to comment on character design real quick. I know we talked about it a little bit, but not a huge fan of the way that Ironheart looked. Didn't like the way that she looked, and I didn't like the way that I didn't like the way that Okoye
Oh god.
Please don't.
Okoye's armor looked
Oh,
either.
nothing.
Okay,
What is her
every
name?
every
Yeah, that-
single suit in this movie
Yeah.
is horrible.
Yeah.
Not
Even-
because it
okay,
doesn't
I
look
think the
good.
Ironheart suit was better than the Okoye.
It was,
Suit.
it was.
The Okoye suit was like when they shoot the thing.
was
Came
like
out,
a-
oh my god! Like
It was like a creepy
It's like a
scuffed
cricket.
Cyrex from
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
it's like,
Oh,
what
yeah.
is this? Or it's like a weird predator. Like what
it's
are
like
you
a
doing?
half between Predator and Cyrex, but it's got like big bubble eyes. And it's
Yeah.
like,
It's like a
oh,
mix of like Manta in there. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not good.
No.
Even Okoye's like, this is ugly.
Also,
yeah. She the whole time she was like, "This looks terrible. Why
Yeah,
would I?
like,
Yeah, you're right."
Why wouldn't you just why wouldn't you just change? Like everything else was fine. Like the colors were fine. I get it, it's African colors, and then like the armor looked okay,
But
but
the helmet was
was
terrible.
just horrible.
Yeah.
well, I just didn't like the entire suit because it's just like, oh, everybody's Iron Man now.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. So.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, it
On top
seemed
of
like
that,
they did
whatever
like
her face
Iron Man
is.
analogy.
What's
Because
the girl?
Okoye does become a new character, right? Like I can't remember if I remember correctly. She becomes a new like character. Like she has a different name,
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
but I don't ever remember her being like full blown Iron Man suit thing. I don't know.
Another. How does she learn how to do everything?
Who, Okoye?
Power.
She just
Oh,
magically
it-
puts on the
She's like
suit.
in the HUD. She's like, "I got it."
Like, everybody's just like, yes,
Yeah.
I just magically
No.
learn all these
Don't
years
worry,
of training and
it's
skill.
The Matrix. They just
I know how to
download
be
them.
Iron Man immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I thought the Ironheart suit was like the coolest suit out of all the like.
The
It was
first
definitely
one?
the best.
I don't
No,
care
The first,
for
the
that.
second one,
Yeah.
I hated
The
that
Iron
thing.
suit?
That
It
thing
looks so
did
bad.
not match this universe at all.
At all.
You look like scuffed Gundam.
I was literally gonna say
It
that.
is
It looks
horrible.
like from Gundam.
Yeah. Okay, but like compared to every other like new suit that was in here.
Nah.
Besides
No, I
the
hate-
Black
I hate-
Panther,
I literally
the Black
hate all
Panther
of
suit
them.
was the definitely way cooler.
I don't
That
actually
was-
care. I don't actually care for the.
I thought
Batman
her suit was alright. I actually thought we were supposed to have more purple, which I thought would have looked cooler in the trailers, but it doesn't. It's just gold, like a lot of gold everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty tight though. Compared
It's
to,
nice.
I mean, like if we're comparing set or suit or whatever design, character design or whatever,
Yeah.
like
I think the coolest character design, honestly, was Namor in his like ceremonial
Yes.
outfit,
With the
and then he
Aztec-y
never
looking,
wore
like,
it again
Jaguar
after.
thing.
Yeah.
Namor was
Yeah.
really cool. I mean, he didn't really need a suit. He was like fucking buff, so.
No,
He
but
doesn't
like
need
his
it,
like
but he looked
Jaguar
super
head
cool
thing,
when he
that
was like
dope.
hyping
Yeah,
up
when
his
he's
army.
like coming
Yeah.
down, yeah, that thing. Was
His
fucking
throne was
awesome.
badass,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, the Jaws.
Yeah,
Yeah, I take it back. That was the best. That was
Yeah.
the best suit.
For sure.
And they just use it for that one time for the speech, and they're just like, "Yep, take it off, all off."
We don't need
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's pretty clear, ladies and gentlemen, that we have some problems with this movie, and that despite the movie being super hyped and the success of the first one, that this one definitely fell short of the mark. The last thing that I just want to bring up and get your guys' thoughts on is the final scene. The final scene of Shuri and then the post-credit scene. We find out, for those of you that haven't seen it, sure you can find the clip on YouTube because all of the post-credit scenes are on YouTube. But we find out that T'Challa and Nikita had a son before T'Challa died. And so now there is a essentially rightful heir to the throne of Prince T'Challa, and he gets introduced to Shuri at the end of the movie. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Knee-jerk reactions. I'll kind of just preface it by saying when I saw Nikita walk down the beach with a kid in her hand, I immediately knew it was T'Challa's son, and I was just like, what?
I mean, who else
Yeah.
would it be?
Oh no, but I'm just like, what? Like, what? So I don't know. I just want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about it?
I mean, I guess I don't want to keep up the hype, but
Did Black Panther have a son in the comics? I don't remember a son.
Not that I know of.
I don't remember any ever.
Because in the comics, he's like with Storm,
Right.
Right.
and then I think he is with Okoye now. I don't think they have a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's not really super.
I know
They
they're not
don't
super
really
by the
care
comics,
about
but,
following the comics, really.
but I'm just curious to know if there's precedence for it or if it's just
No,
a
I think
I
it's
think
or
it's
not,
more
it's
of
a T'Challa
a Chadwick
thing.
It's a-
Chadwick.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman thing.
100% just a.
well, I don't know. To me, it seemed like well, my first thought when I saw it was like I didn't like think that they were doing it for Chadwick Boseman. I think that like I was just like, oh, okay, it's like the Thor thing where they're just like getting these kids
Oh.
to like have like the just keep like
Oh,
have
for
the next generation of like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now Thor has a kid and what's her name?
Ant-Man has a kid. Everybody's
Yeah.
got kids now.
Yeah, everybody's got
even
kids.
even Iron Man's
Man's
got a kid.
What's
Who's her?
Nakia? Is that her name?
Oh, Nikita. Yeah.
Yeah. So now she has a kid. So it's just
T'Challa,
like
yeah.
it seems like everybody's just having like they're just putting kids in here now so that they can take over like
In the future.
yeah.
Right. The next generation.
Right. But you know, after they were like, oh, it's.
They're just gonna restart the Marvel universe when they all come. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the Avengers Part 2 or version 2.
Yeah, I don't know. That
With
was
a
just
bunch
like
of
my
kids.
yeah. That was like my instant thought. I was like, oh, it's like Thor.
For some reason, I like after seeing the kid, it's like to me, it's like for some reason I can instantly see Killmonger number 2. You're the new kid that's gonna get like
Yeah.
kind of pushed off to the side because Shuri's just chilling over here as the Black
Right.
Panther, and be like, yeah, you can be the king, but you know you don't really get anything.
Yeah, you're not getting this. Yeah. Well, I don't know about you guys, but like, I'm not disappointed. Like, well, I mean, I am disappointed, but it's not like a huge disappointment, I guess. The only problem I have is I was hoping for a little bit more connection to the rest of the Marvel universe, because this phase that we're in of the MCU is so disjointed, in my opinion, that like
Yeah, everyone's just kind of.
I don't really know what the hell's going on. I do think that, I know we said it in our Quantumanium trailer reaction, I do think Quantumanium is going to be a very pivotal movie of tying a lot of things together, but like I was hoping for something in this movie to kind of tie into the rest of the universe.
There's no call out to anything.
Nothing at all. Like,
Except Namor is now gonna.
well, now we know that Namor and Talokan exists, but like, I don't know. That's kind of just like my final thought. Is just like,
I'm assuming that's just gonna be Black Panther 3. It's just gonna be like a huge war or something.
yeah. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I guess now Wakanda is in a weird place with the rest of the world, right? Because they're not going rogue, but they're kind of like done playing ball with the rest of the world. They're like,
They've gone back to their like old ways.
right, their reclusive ways. So maybe that, it's doesn't really bode well, I guess. But I don't know. Any final thoughts you guys have on Black Panther, Wakanda Forever?
Yeah.
Nothing. No. All right.
Well.
Well, let me do this, Connor.
Uh-huh.
Final question to you. You said at the beginning of the podcast that your mind might potentially change over the course of this episode. So, did it change, and does your score stay the same out of 7?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely, like, the more I talked about it, it's like, okay, like, there was a lot more things that I was, like, kind of questioning. So, I would say I probably would bring it down to a 6.
Okay.
Just because
Yeah.
it really, it really bothered me, like, the...
Inconsistency of power level and
well,
stuff.
just the like...
The whole movie is just inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like
I was
literally,
I
they'll
was just
have
very-
one scene where it's supposed to be super touching. The next scene, people die,
Right.
and they're just like, "Yeah, you're all dead."
Yeah.
And it just does the whole movie because he just keeps swapping different characters and it's
Yeah.
just back and forth,
Yeah.
back and forth, back and
No,
forth.
you're right, for sure.
Yeah, I think, like, the visuals and the sound design and everything kind of, like, kept my
Attention.
attention, and I didn't, like... Because in the moments, I was like, what? And then it would, like, do something cool, and I was like, oh, okay.
That's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But...
Which is why, if you are a big Marvel fan, you're gonna love this movie.
Right. Yeah.
Probably why I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't
If
think
you
it,
don't
I
pay
definitely don't think it was,
attention
yeah, I
as
definitely don't
much,
think it was bad. It's
it's-
definitely above
it's-
average.
Well, it's not a bad movie
Yeah.
for sure, but
Like my 5 is, to me, it's just average.
well, 5 is average. on
It's
our
just
rating.
it's
Yeah.
average. It's
For me,
not,
it was above average.
it's not anything crazy special to me, but it does its job, I guess, as a movie.
Yeah.
My final thing, I just want to say real quick, shout out to M'Baku. I think he was like probably my favorite character in this movie.
He was actually the only funny character
Yeah,
to me. in
he
this
was
movie.
funny, but
Everything
also
else was
still
really
They
badass.
gave him a lot of great character development. He was like
Yeah.
very wise and
Well,
like,
yeah, there
like
was
he wasn't
some-
just like I'm M'Baku and like boom. You know what I mean? He was like giving like sage advice.
Oh,
I really
I
liked
do.
it.
Actually, there's two things I want to mention to you. Is can you please stop taking all the slow mo shots from DC? And everybody used to hate on that, but now they're doing it in Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's
That
cool,
slow mo
but
shot
I liked
did
it in
make
both.
that when he punched him, I was like, oh, that kind of looks bad because he was just like, "Bleh." Like his arm was like in a really weird position, and he was like, "Bleh." You know what I mean?
No, it was not a very good form punch.
Yeah.
No.
He was like crooked, and he was just
Yeah.
like, "Bleh." But I guess he's like super strong. He doesn't really care.
That
He
one
just-
scene on the ship where they're like preparing for the ambush or whatever, and then
And then
the Djibouti
Dora
like help
Milaje.
them
That
go
was pretty
outside.
dope.
It's cool. However, you're not the first movie to do it.
Yeah.
It was actually a terrible movie, but I also enjoy it at the same time.
Yeah.
It was a great. Wall did it first.
Oh yeah, yeah, with Matt Damon.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay.
The action
I
in that
Chinese
movie was
Matt
awesome.
Damon.
Yeah, just another thing. I didn't really get the whole like singing thing. Like.
Oh, they're just sirens. It plays off of the folktale of sirens.
Right, I
Of
get that,
luring
but I
people.
didn't. That was like the other thing is like they. Well, it
Power-
goes back to like they
power
they
thing,
can't
yeah.
breathe outside of water, but they can be like
They can sing
and then
and draw
like people are
people.
like,
Harry Potter,
oh, I'm gonna kill myself. I don't know. It just seemed weird that
It
they were, like,
was very-
they have
no,
to
That's
It
a
was
good
weird.
point. That like
Yeah.
these are like supernatural powers that they have, but like they also
It made it they,
Just-
yeah.
yeah.
It seemed like they made it clear that Namor is the only one who can breathe outside of water without any sort of like
apparatus. Yeah.
So I was like, but then there's all these other people who are just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I guess if
Inconsistency,
they have
right?
apparatuses
Yeah,
on
it's
their
just
gills,
more-
then it
more
doesn't. I
inconsistency,
just couldn't
yeah.
see them. So maybe that was the.
Well, it's probably just inconsistency, right? Inconsistency. It's a cool factor. They did it for the cool factor, but it not
Yeah.
maybe
It was
not
definitely
necessarily.
cool. I thought that whole beginning scene, I was like, oh
Right.
shit, this is fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, no, never mind.
No?
I didn't. What was the like? Who was the lady in the beginning?
She's just a CIA operative.
Oh, okay, she was just someone
Yeah.
random.
Yeah,
I thought
she's-
she had like a more.
I don't think
She's
so.
like a kind of famous actress.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was-
kind of recognized.
yeah,
her. So I was like,
I was
oh,
like,
this
oh,
must be
she's in,
someone
like, a lot of
famous, and then they
stuff.
killed her.
Well, she's
Yeah.
dead, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Our Take. Thank you to our guest for joining us. We have it's very late right now, but we have a very fun day for tomorrow. Congratulations to you ahead of time.
Thank you.
But thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. Hopefully we can do more stuff like this. We want to hear from you guys, the audience. How did you guys like Wakanda Forever? Did you guys enjoy it? What were your guys' issues? What were the things that you liked? And also, let us know how you guys like this guest format. Do you guys enjoy us having guests on the podcast? Do you guys want to see more of it? Because if you do, let us know down in the comments below, and we'll work on getting more of that to you guys. So, gentlemen, anything you guys like to say to the audience?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us and being here to experience the movie of Wakanda Forever Part 2. Wait, what is it? Black Panther 2.
Black 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out us out on social media, Any Kind Media Cast on Twitter and Instagram. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Shoots.
Dudes.